And sooner or later, that's going to happen.
Yeah. And what a segue for the Bob Chapman deal of the day. Robbie.
Yes. Well, we've got some Swiss francs.
Uh-oh.
Haven't had them for a while. These are 0.1867 ounces of pure gold, minted between 1897 and 1930. These are in brilliant uncirculated condition. Formerly sold by Goldline for close to $500, but you don't have to pay that much here at Republic Trading Group. We only charge a paltry $280. And if you order 20 or more of them, you will receive a year subscription to the International Forecaster. And 20 Swiss francs will run you $5,600. But you don't have to buy 20. You buy as many or as few as you want for $280. A fine coin to hold. And let me just tell you something. Talking about how little gold there is out there and how the GLD is a complete fraud. There's a story making its rounds on the internet. It's posted up on eaglesup.com. A single Swiss investor has bought up the entire production of the Rand Refinery's Krugerrands to the point that the Rand Refinery, well, first of all, is obviously not going to disclose who the buyer is, but it says it's going to take them until the end of September before they can replenish their supplies. Now, this is just a single investor, just one person.
I saw that story on eaglesup.com. Mm-hmm. By the way, 800-313-9443. Let's not everybody wait until the second hour here. We'll intersperse the phone calls. I was looking at something here, guys, and I think this is worth looking at because we have our dual citizen guy, Uncle Joe Lieberman, at it again here. 197-page Protecting Cyberspace as a National Asset Act. And what this is, the Black King sitting in the White House right now is going to have the power to shut down the Internet for at least 4 months with no congressional oversight. Does that tell you something's coming? Candy Crowley, the pig with lipstick that's on CNN, and the reason I say that is not because, and we can't control what we look like, and we all understand that. It's the content of the person's character and who they are that makes them what they are. She is a pig with lipstick. She, during an interview with Mr. Lieberman, he let slip that the real motive behind the cybersecurity agenda, he says right now China, the government, can disconnect parts of its Internet in case of war, and we need to have that here too. The reason he gave is because of hacking of our power plants here in this country. But guess what? It ain't possible. These power grids, water treatment, power generation facilities, whatever, are not hooked up to the public Internet, folks. They are not hooked up to the Internet. A recent case reported by Wall Street Journal involving a German engineering giant, Siemens AG. Well, guess what happened? Somebody walked into the place, plugged in a thumb drive into one of the computers, and infected the grid from the inside, not the outside. So here's Joe Communist Lieberman trying to get this 197-page bill passed through Congress under the guise of protecting us against cyber attack, when in reality, Bob, I smell it coming, and so do you. We're going to have war, and by the way, all you people out there that depend on the Internet for your information, stories, maybe listening to networks such as this via the streaming online, we won't be there.
You know, an interesting segue to that story. Senator Ted Stevens.
Down in a plane.
Died in a plane. And he was one of the authors of net neutrality.
Isn't that amazing? And, well, that follows, didn't his wife die in a plane crash as well? I guess the warning wasn't good enough. He went out and got a new wife. Now, he's lost his life. He can't get out and get a new life. He's now pushing up daisies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the way they work.
That's the way they roll, man. The wet
Matt
willy.
Simmons had a heart attack and
Yes.
in his
Swimming pool.
hot tub.
It was
He
a
was in a hot
hot
tub,
You mean-
and he's dead. But they say that he had a history of heart disease. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you sure he wasn't wearing a life jacket and found floating upside down like, who was the guy? The CIA? Colby, was it? Man,
Right.
You know what really grabs me? Why these people, they go into these agencies and whatnot, knowing full well what is going to happen to them if you cross your master. I mean, they all know it. Hell, Ron Paul knew it, for gosh sakes. That's why he never really wanted the presidency. He said, confided to me privately, he said, John, they'll kill me. Do you understand? I won't even run for governor. They'll kill me. He won't even talk about the Kafir reports because he recently stated, they'll kill me. Well, Ron, get the hell out of Washington. And on yesterday's program, guys, I'm so sick and tired of dealing with the Fed. Fed this, Fed that. They ran up in a sheriff out of Nye County, talked to him on the phone today. Very interesting fellow, and I sent him the same thing I just sent you, Bob, USA versus U.S. I said, did you ever ask yourself the question why the guys with the shiny badges wearing the Fed uniforms are showing up at gunpoint? I mean, they about threw down there in Nye County, Nevada. He basically told them, he said, look, the Feds told him, he said, we're sending in SWAT teams. He said, I'll meet you. I'll bring mine, you bring yours. We almost had a shootout in Nye, Nevada, because of the Fed. And I told him, I said, do you know why that is happening? Do you know that the presumptive power that the Fed has assumed? He didn't. As I sat there looking at his picture with his 4 general stars on his collar, I didn't ask him the question. I just asked him, where did you come from? Well, he came from the East Coast. He was a cop. And I said, oh, you were a policy enforcer. I said, do you know the difference? I said, do you understand the immense amount of power that a county sheriff has? And I said, I'm going to tell you why this is happening to you. So I'm going to try to get I had him scheduled out for Thursday. He emailed me back and said, whoops, sorry, that time slot's gone. We're going to have to, he didn't say anything about rescheduling. He said, sorry. I am hoping that I am wrong about this individual, but a lot of people have been putting pressure on him out there because of water rights. That's what this whole fight is about. Now, let's see if, in fact, we do have a real constitutional county sheriff out there, because he's got the old standard military-style command that every policy-making chief of police, along with his corporate coffer Keystone Cop Raiders, have, and that's a military structure. County sheriffs aren't supposed to have that, folks. There ain't no 4-star county sheriffs. So we'll see where this goes. And I'll tell you what, it's getting a little bit strange out there when people, if they do not understand where in the hell our problems came from, they can't identify, then we can't fix the problem. And I don't need a bunch of people running around the planet going, oh, it's unconstitutional. Hell, your government's been unconstitutional for so many years, they threw that out with the baby in the bathwater. So let's all wise up here as to how we got here and make the fixes on a permanent basis. Bob, I still think we're going to have to go to war to get this thing straightened around. I don't see them giving up.
You may very well be right.
I don't see them giving
We'll
up.
find out.
Yeah.
We're all ready for it.
No, I don't think people are ready for it, because they've lived.
Well, the people who count are. You don't need, 80% of the population.
I don't.
All you need is 10, 5, 15%, and you can do the job.
Well, it'd be kind of nice to be in counties where we had real county sheriffs that would help protect its citizenry in his jurisdiction by knowing the law, what happened. And I'll tell you what, if you got county sheriffs coming out on the evening news saying, wait a minute, I got my posse here in Williamson County, Texas, and we know what's going on, and it's stopping right here. Folks, we need county sheriffs out there. We need them, and we need them badly. Well, these little policy enforcers. You know, the thing that cracks me up, Bob? Everybody's running around talking about the Constitution. Well, go take your argument to a court and explain to the judge how this or that or the other violates the Constitution. He's an administrative judge, and you're standing in his administrative court. They can see, hear, and no speak of the Constitution. Absolutely ridiculous and sickening, folks. The law is the reason why we came to the stature that we did. The biggest, the baddest, the shiniest, the brightest, and the happiest, and most secure. What are we now? The broke, the insecure, and on it goes. Hour 2 coming up. 800-313-9443 is the call-in number.